What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Full Blast. I am your host, Raja Burrows, and today we are going to be talking about stress. But before I get into that, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you are new here to this channel, welcome. If you are new to Objective Personality, welcome. We are delighted to have you here. If you would like to be notified anytime a video goes live, hit that little bell icon. And if you would like to book a session with me personally, you can do so using the Snugg link in the description below. Okay, so before I get into this video properly, you may notice that I deleted the last two videos that I made about shadow functions. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, the sound was off. But more importantly, they just weren't good enough. They just weren't good enough. The quality of the content from both an energy DOM perspective and an info DOM perspective just didn't cut it. They just didn't cut it. It is not representative of the work that I can do, that I like to do. It's not representative of the work that I want to contribute to the body of work of the Objective Personality community. It just didn't get there. So I deleted those videos. I will be revisiting that series at some point once I have a much better idea of really what I want to say on it, and more specifically, how to really contextualize that in all of this positivity stuff that I've been really into lately. But today we're talking about stress. And here's why I want to talk about stress. Personal growth is not easy. It just isn't. It by definition is not effortless. And I think that if you're in any sector of the personal growth world, then you have to have a really clear idea about what is productive for you, what is unproductive for you, what's helping you, what isn't, being able to integrate the opinions of others that might help you, being able to reject the opinions of others that might not help you. You have to have a surprisingly high level of self-awareness in order to really move forward and to take all of this stuff in the spirit in which it is intended. Because I really do believe, I have not met anybody in the personal growth community, and certainly not the OP community, but I think this is true for like 99% of the personal growth community. No one's trying to hurt you. Like, the number of people who are actually trying to make your life worse and hurt you and like fuck with you is really small. But everybody has different subjective experiences, different opinions on things, different cultures that they come from, different worldviews, different ways of just going through life. So that will inform the spin that they put on their narrative and their content. And some of it may not resonate with you. And one thing that I want to be very transparent about that hasn't been resonating with me lately is, the best way to approach the concept of negativity and difficulty and stress and demon and darkness and on that whole chunk of the board. And I want to be very clear. It's not that I want everything to be easy. It's not that I don't want to put in effort in order to see results. But I have found for myself over the past 6 weeks that I have gotten a lot more accomplished focusing on the positive. And so it is with that in mind that I want to approach this idea of stress in the context of function development in objective personality. So, and by function development animal development, sexual modality development, whatever it is you're working on, the element of stress is going to play into this. So one thing that I've really been like trying to really process for myself is how much stress helps me. And more specifically, what kind of stress helps me. And there are people who have like written books on this and studied this to hell. I defer to their opinions if they conflict with this, at least on a scientific level. Again, this is me speaking subjectively about what has worked for me over the past 6 weeks. Because I made a lot of progress in the past 6 weeks, personally, professionally, socially, spiritually, physically. And I'm just very excited to share. I'm just very excited to share all this with you. And listen, real talk, one of my biggest goals and challenges and, areas of interest for me is reducing the amount of stress in my life, but more specifically, the consistency of the stress in my life. Because, and I believe that this is true in terms of how humans have evolved over time, I am pretty good at hustling. And by hustling, I mean dealing with acute, short amounts of stress. Very, very good at that. Whether it's, I'm, driving down the street and I have to listen, if you're driving in California, sometimes making your exit and merging properly, sometimes that's really tough and requires a really high level of mental focus and energy and intention. And you got to shove your way into this car, then wait for that car to pass and then get in and then not be a dick about it and hope things work out. There's a lot that goes on sometimes when you're driving. And that is absolutely stressful. For sure, period. And even though it's something that I've done a bunch, I've done it a lot, enough. I've been driving for a while. I lived in New York. I knew how to make transfers really quickly. I'm good at it. That doesn't make it not stressful. Just physiologically, whenever there's anything like that, I can handle it. I'm good. I will, again, unless it is so ridiculously insurmountable that my muscles cannot, if it's I'm trying to lift a certain amount of weight and my muscles are no, you can't do that. They're not large enough to do that. But on a mental, emotional, whatever level, I'm good with that. And the reason that I'm so good with that is because the end is very, very finite. I'm not swimming in this constant struggle. The times in which I struggle are very, very specific. They are acute. They are deliberately difficult. Me trying to operate at the upper range of my ability level. And that's really, really good. What's not so good is the sort of blanket life is hard, existence is pain. I can't fuck with that anymore. I'm not fucking with that anymore. I don't subscribe to that belief anymore. I do not associate with people who do ascribe to that belief. There are people who I straight don't talk to anymore because their worldview is one that presumes that all of existence is just hard and difficult. If you have a worldview that is existence requires effort, it requires problem solving, it requires solutions to unforeseen challenges, I'll fuck with you all day. I love it. I love it. Those are exactly the kinds of people that I want in my life. The people who look at the world and go, okay, I see a problem and I see the solution on the other side of that problem. Let's work towards that solution that is immediately on the other side of that hill. Oh my God, I love it. And here's the thing, you know people like that. You've seen people like that in life, in the world, in celebrities, on the OP docs, even in yourself. I know for a fact that at some point in your life, if you are watching this, that you have been able to look at some problem. Whether it's, I don't understand this math homework. And your impulse was to go, okay, I gotta at least get a B- on this math test. If I don't get a B-, I'm screwed. And so what'd you do? You figured out, all right, well, let me talk to the teacher. The test comes back and I get a 70 on it. And the teacher's like, listen, you need a B-. Otherwise, like, I can't give you a passing. Like, I have to give you a D if you don't get at least a B- on this next test. It's in 2 weeks. So you're like, shit, all right, I guess I better figure this out. So then you'll go to the teacher. You will meet with them, twice a week during the math free period. You'll meet with them, you'll just focus your energy on studying for that test. You will cancel whatever weeknight engagement you were gonna do, Call of Duty night, I don't know, I'm just making shit up at this point. And be like, no man, I gotta do my math homework. Like, I have to do my math homework. I gotta make sure that I get to school at 7:45 so that when the 8 o'clock math period rolls around, I've gotten to school, I'm settled, I got some food in me, I drank some water, I'm doing the thing, and I'm ready to be present and prepared and to learn and to contribute and to do all the things. You'll just do that. Like, if it's that serious, you will figure out a way to overcome that problem. And all of you have done this before in life. I promise you have done this. Otherwise, you would not be alive. You would not be an alive human watching this video if you haven't done that at some point in your life. You just wouldn't. So I know you have it in you, and I know that you can do it because that's just how human existence works. And that's great. That's amazing. And here's the thing, for that 2-week stretch, it's going to be a little stressful. For sure. It's going to be hard. Is going to require a different set of, mental rewards for you in the moment. You're going to have to learn some new coping mechanisms. You're going to have to manage your sleep better, manage your other studies, manage your social life. But then after those 2 weeks, you can be like, okay, I got the B-. I can't totally let up, but I'm good. And even in the interim of that, if it's like, okay, I just need to meet with my teacher tomorrow during a free period for 20 minutes. Okay, I can work hard for 20 minutes. I can do it. I can be present. I can do a little bit of prep work with questions and just be there and in it and with them. And then on the other side of that, it's like, whew, all right, now I can chill out about math. And crucially, the people who undergo these things like this and who, in my opinion, really thrive, what I have seen both subjectively and objectively from the people who get incredible results all the time, they'll do a hard thing and then they'll let it go. They're like, great, I did my hard thing for today, and now I'm gonna go back on autopilot and hang out with my friends, do history class, which is easier, or English or writing or PE or whatever. so that way when they come back to math, they actually have the energy to get through it. And it's managing that, not just your energy, but managing your own mental state, that I think is so important when it comes to working on your demons. Because, one of the analogies that has pervaded the objective personality culture and conversation is the idea of being under the mountain. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm questioning the utility of that metaphor. I'm just questioning it. If it helps you, and if you find yourself energized using that metaphor, ignore the next however many minutes of this video. Because clearly, look, if you're getting results and you're like not wrecking your life and you're a happy, fulfilled, whatever human, great. Keep crushing it. This video is not for you. But for me, I found that being under the mountain, it's very, very easy in our modern day society to decide to dive under the mountain. And then as you're nearing the end of that mountain and you're like, okay, I'm almost got through this really difficult thing and I've been holding my breath and I've been doing the things. It's very, very easy and tempting to start looking for another mountain to be under. And I use that word be very specifically because there's a difference between being under the mountain and going under the mountain. Under the mountain is not a fun place to be. It's not a sustainable place to be. And over time, it's not a healthy place to be. You cannot sustain being in a demon state for very long. You can't do it. That is not feasible. No matter how integrated you are, you can't live at this like moderate level of stress all the time. It's like when people, I had a drama teacher once and she hurt her knee really badly. And again, she was older and just walking around, and she had always used like a cane or a walker, but she was like, yeah, this is just a chronic pain. This is just a thing that I live with. It's just painful. And then she finally, after years, was able to get surgery for it. And she was like, I had no idea how much pain I was in because I just got accustomed to it. And when we're talking about saviors and demons and we're talking about personal growth, because there's no limit on how much you can grow, kind of, when it comes to, mental capacities and emotion and spiritual whatever, it's really, really easy to be like, oh man, I did this thing and now I'm going to keep going. Being under this amount of stress was helpful. Let me see if I can add on more stress. Let me see if I can pile on some more. Let me see what else I can carry. And I don't know, man. I can say for myself that I hit the diminishing returns on that mindset really, really early. Really, really early. And what's been given me the most concrete, tangible benefits. I'm talking, I can measure my success based on my energy levels, how much sleep I'm getting at night, how much snacking I'm doing or not doing, the foods that I feel like consuming in order to fuel the work that I'm doing, how many miles a day I am walking, how much weight I have lost. I mean, again, things that can be tracked in reality. Since adopting a more positive, productive mindset, all of those numbers have started to trend upward. And a big thing that I did was I really scaled back my social media usage and my social media engagement, digital communication in general. Just, I felt so plugged in all the time. And I was like, this is not helping me. Being this connected was, again, science warning, I'm going to use these terms wrong, but hopefully you can understand the feeling of what I'm trying to communicate here. I felt like my cortisol levels just constantly in a state of being slightly elevated. And that even if I wasn't being hyper vigilant, realizing that, like, I'm always a little vigilant. Like, rarely do I let myself genuinely, fully relax. Even when I sleep, there's a part of my brain that's like, you should be thinking about something. You should be trying to solve it. And I mean, again, a lot of that for me came from not just being connected to social media, but being constantly in conversation digitally with a bunch of different people. And always being in problem-solving mode in a very static way, in a very ever-present kind of way, rather than I'm booping and bopping through life, chilling, cruising, doing my saviors, doing what's comfy, doing the blast play, and then in certain moments choosing to do the SFNF, choosing to slow down and do the sleep, choosing to do the right amount of consume. That's how you build those muscles, is by being really deliberate about when you engage those muscles and when you don't, rather than just being in this state of, yeah, I'm always just kind of like using this muscle that I don't really like, because eventually you will grow to resent using that muscle because it'll get fatigued, it'll get burnt out, it'll get worn out. You're like, I would like to do this other thing, but I feel like I can't because I have to get better at this one thing. I'm not for it. I'm not here for it. So if you feel like you are under the mountain or under some mountain, my suggestion to you and my encouragement to you is to set as clear a goal as possible. And if you've been under the mountain for a while, make that goal like soon. And then get out from under the mountain and then take a breather. You're fine. I promise you are fine. It's all good. And then, when it comes time to start a new project, or if something slaps you in the face, you can deal with the problem in front of you. It doesn't have to spiral out of control. And just recognize that if you're in muscle building town, if you're in that state, if that's what you're working on, be really focused and really intentional about building that muscle, working on it, working through the kinks, working through the whatever, and then relax it. And then let it go. And then go back to doing your saviors. And then over time, 5 minutes a day working on your demons will turn to 7 minutes a day. We'll turn to 10 minutes a day. We'll turn to only taking 2 days off during the week instead of 4, which will turn into only taking 1 day off during the week instead of 2. That's what I mean when I talk about the importance of making progress over time. It's being really specific about when you engage your demons, when you let your demons relax and chill the fuck out for a minute, so that you have to recover and let your body relax and rejuvenate so that you actually have the energy to engage with the tough stuff in a meaningful, purposeful, and productive way And by doing that over time, then you're going to start to see some progress. All right, that's all I got for today. I'm changing the sign off. I do a couple of different videos and shows, so I'm just going to make one sign off for all the shows. Thank you for hanging out with me. As always, I love you. I see you. Now let's do the damn thing.